Right, action.
Alright, so we're going to go through the process for how to sterilize the nichromium wire loop that we're going to use for the flame spectrum analysis activity that we're going to be doing today. Keeping this loop clean and sterilized is really, really important to ensure that you get the best quality results, which is what you're going to need in order to successfully identify your unknown sample. You're going to be testing 7 different known samples and then trying to figure out what the unknown sample is based on your recollection and observations of the 7 known samples. The one sample that will not be an unknown is the copper chloride. Now, when you start off, one of the first things that you're going to have to do is get your nichromium wire loop sterilized. You'll notice that the Bunsen burner is already going. Notice how the flame has been adjusted so that the air intake valve at the bottom is open and we have that violet outer flame with that greenish blue inner cone. The top of that cone is the very important part because that's the hottest part of the flame, and that's where you're going to want to make sure that you're going to place your wire loop each and every time in order to get the best possible results. What we're going to start off by doing, if you look in the procedure, it says we're going to dip the wire loop in a beaker containing 6 molar hydrochloric acid. We use a little bit more concentrated hydrochloric acid this time to ensure that we burn off as many ions as possible and keep the loop as clean as possible. So all you have to do is just dip it down into the beaker. Make sure you don't touch the sides of the beaker and just swirl it around. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take it and you're going to put it right in the hottest part of the flame, and you're going to wait until that loop glows, fully glows there, and then you're going to let it count for about 5 seconds. So 4, 3, 2, 1, and make sure you swirl it around a little bit too in order to get all the acid burned off. And then once you take it out, you're then going to put it into the distilled water. You're going to hear it sizzle a little bit when you actually do it, and then just swirl it around there a little bit. And once you've done that, now your loop is sterilized and clean and ready to be dipped into your known sample. When you dip your loop into your known sample, first of all, it's very important that you don't move or touch any of the test tubes on the test tube rack. They need to stay intact, and that you just dip it down. You don't need to dip it down all the way to the bottom, just all the way down so that you get the loop, get some of the chemical on it. So I'm just going to pick one of these samples here and just do a quick little dip. And then you're going to put it there in the hottest part of the flame. And you're looking for about a 1 to 2 second burst of color. And then after that, it pretty much is going to subside and go away. And after you've done that, you can continue to test the same sample. Just make sure that you put it back in the water each time that you do. And you can keep testing the same sample over and over again. When you go to switch to a different sample, that's when you have to make sure that you go back to the hydrochloric acid and repeat that sterilization process each and every time. So good luck on figuring out what your unknown sample is in today's activity.